Uh, Hello, people. Welcome, welcome, everyone. Um, yeah. So, boop. Uh-huh. I think we have a problem. Oops. And the problem is that nothing fucking works. So, I mean, this should get called. Like here. So, for example, oh. How is this a keyboard event? 112. Ah, fucking health check. All right. Yeah, so boop. No. Yeah, let me. Huh. I need to disable health check temporarily. Um, so where do I write? So this one, we just don't do it. Maybe I just actually set debug, and if debug, we never do health check at all. Although then there's a possibility that if health check is broken, I don't notice it in the debug. Are like data breakpoints work? So maybe I can go here and then did breakpoint key like not equals 112. Something like this. Will it even work? Hey, Destruin. Okay. I see how it goes. Oh shit. What the Oh yeah, it's stuck now. Man. So how do I even debug this? Wait a second, let me nuke. Oh, and I can't kill it because yeah, I need to kill it with 9. Now do this. Yeah, debugging it is a little bit like problematic. Actually, I know what I can do. I can temporarily disable this hotkey, not hotkey, this breakpoint. Can move it to the side. Can then re-enable the breakpoint. Click and press. There we have it. And now key is 31, which is S. Get the state. State should be pressed, and it is. Then we log the key. Oh, I ungrabbed it. So mapping resolving hook should be false. Oh, it's actually true. Oh, I know what's broken. So I cannot set keys if I have global settings. I kind of... So I broke this during refactoring, but not the refactoring we did yesterday. I actually broke it a while ago. So yeah, now since it thinks that it's resolving the keys, that it is resolving the keys because this is a global profile and I have stuff set up here, it will resolve them, but then it should also go into this branch. So it shouldn't be like else if. It should be like if and then if again. Ah, wait a second. All right. Please fix. No, it's not fixed. Please fix. Please fix. Please fix. Yeah. And then it goes circles and you just waste tokens, but it doesn't matter because your employer pays for your Claude Max subscription, right? Which is what, like $100 a month? Yeah. So this needs to be structured slightly differently. Let me go back to the real text editor. So this shouldn't be like if else. So first of all, if mapping resolving hook is installed, this should go here, right? It should resolve. And like that's if, that's it. Then if I see how he be yeah. Actually, I became hot before switching to Emacs. And then I do this. Actually, if the input event device removed, Yeah, this isn't handled. I should probably do this. Simply forward lib input key event. So I guess this one I should also just handle separately. Why do how do I check on the event type? Do I even check? So I have event. I get event type. And this one goes where? So simply forward, I don't even care about it. I just forward the event. Here where we set mapping, I also don't really care about the event itself. Next. And in this case, I do get event type, but I think I don't use it because after refactoring, I think. Yeah. So after refactoring, I don't need event type there anymore. Because we kind of do all of the dispatching here. And then like in the top level, I just don't need it anymore. Right, so lib input device removed. Oh, look at this. Like I don't even, so unless it's a keyboard, we don't even care. So yeah, this situation cannot be here. This situation should be somewhere like here, I guess. And so this is the case where like if, for example, somebody like unplugged like a physical keyboard, what we need to do is we need to take its like device ID and ungrab it. Well, I think it gets ungrabbed automatically by the kernel, but we should just kind of mark it in our own program state that it got ungrabbed, so that later when the keyboard or other keyboard gets replugged, we can detect that. So this is actually a to-do item. Yeah, so this is if our virtual device got removed. To do handle situation when one of devices that we grab gets removed, as in update lib input devices. Is this how it's called? No, table lib input open devices. Yeah, lib input open devices table and so on. What's up, Leon? Hello, hello, hello. Happy post-Halloween clarity. I don't know if you celebrate it, if like in your country it's something like that you do or not. But yeah, welcome, welcome. We never celebrated Halloween before we moved to Serbia. And here, this is now our second favorite holiday. Well, it's not holiday. Second favorite, I guess, just like event. By sleeping all day. Nice. Nice. I wish I could do that. Right, so now I think it should work. So refactoring didn't break it, we actually broke it a while ago. Keyboard event. blah, 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 blah. If key is health check key, would do that. Defer, then bloom, 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 bloom. Nice. So now we both resolving the hook, resolving the key, and then we also do that. We could be like slightly more smart here. For example, if our own like program is focused, we might skip that. Or we can also prioritize this. So if setting hook is installed, we do that. Otherwise, do everything else. But let's do this for now. So now, hey, it works. So F1, 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 and yeah. So let's maybe do not F1, but maybe like Q. And then let me check if this actually works, like in Neovium, for example. So I do Q, S. All right, it works. So I am holding S and spamming Q, and every time I unpress Q, S gets typed. Cool. Does remapping works? So for example, if I do remap, oh yeah, that's the bug. Another one. So when I change this to remap from A to D, does it actually, is it actually broken, or is it just, yeah. So it's actually like broken. Nice. But if I switch back to opposite, yeah, so it's totally broken. So you see we have before, where is before? Mappings before we had, oh, I don't log mappings before here. But anyway, after we have A to D. Oh, that's actually sus. Ah, no, there you go. So A, remap to, so this is broken, we need to fix it. Hey, Ivan. Are you still using the good old ThinkPad? Yes, I use it, but I'm not streaming from it. So my good old ThinkPad here, alive and well. I actually have like my stream open on it on the side, and also it runs my Twitch bot. So yeah, it's still alive and well. I do some work on it when I, like on the go, in a train or some shit. But yeah, welcome. Nice. So this thing kind of works. So, but if can I just, right? So I can. Oh, it's kind of inconsistent, right? Does it work? So I press A and it inserts A and D, which shouldn't happen actually. What the fuck is found mapping? Resetting. Huh. Interesting. After spending some time programming in Jai, what do you think about it? Just few words. Yeah, I like the language. I really like it. At the moment, like all my kind of systems level programming, like side projects I do in Jai. I can't even like imagine doing them in anything else. Is the idea to intercept the input events and rebind them? Yeah, pretty much, Emil. So you can, it's pretty much the idea. Yeah, you can read like more about, how do you call it, rationale and stuff, but that's the idea, yeah. So we do set mappings, but then we do something bad. We also do this. So we always forward. That shouldn't happen. So would actually what? I think I need to do this, then else if this, and then else. So first we handle mapping setting hook, then we have happen resolving hook, and only then we happen forwarding. And now this will work. So I will press A. Wait, what? Huh? I think I just broke something. Setting hook, no. Else if. This should be true. Huh. Oh, so I press an A, D comes out, but it doesn't work when I load the program. So I guess I broke the code that loads the profile and makes it active. Yeah. So you see, when my program loads, this profile doesn't get enabled correctly. And only if I like map it again, now I can press. Yes, now it's like DDD, even though physically I'm pressing button A, right? So if I open my debug menu, you can see that A gets pressed, but in text editor D appears, you see? So this input debug, it logs actual physical keys on the keyboard. But yeah, you can see the text editor shows D, and only after I remap it again. So let's fix that. So I guess this is correct now. How the hell does GitHub have highlighting? For Jai, it's because one of the Jai beta users submitted a Jai grammar for GitHub. There's like an official GitHub repo where you need to submit a pull request for new languages, and somebody just did that. And after a while, GitHub accepted the grammar, and now it has syntax highlighting. That's pretty much all there is to it. No magic. Your language doesn't have to be publicly available for GitHub to accept the grammar. Well, there is a bar in a sense that GitHub, I think, should have some amount of repositories in the language. And since there is quite a bit repos, Jai repos on GitHub, some of them are quite highly starred, right? Like Focus Editor has over 1K stars, I'm pretty sure. Maybe over 2K stars. By the way, hey, to welcome. So, yeah, over 2K stars. You look at this. Big W. Right, and Hitboxer, it has like 200, 300, yeah. It has 300 stars. And there are a bunch of other Jai repos. So I guess GitHub just like, oh yeah, it's legit. Hey Victor, focus is great. I just really wanted directory tree. Yeah, I understand. I understand. By the way, since we are on a GitHub view, I want a little bike shading from you guys. Do you like when you open a repo and it just has project files like this flat? So like Jai, like main Jai right here. Or do you prefer having like SRC directory? So like a source code isn't mangled with like README and license and stuff like that. How do you usually prefer? SRC is better. So I have depends on the number. Okay, so yeah, all right. So if you have just one like C file, you would prefer it to be like flat together with like license readme. Yeah, but if it's like this, so we have build, well, input and IOCTL should probably be together with Linux in a separate directory, probably. But and this too. So this, and this, they are Linux dependent. One five is okay, but yeah, here is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8. Create a folder. I see, I see. If it's STP style, I usually keep it outside. Alright. This hilarious repo. Bro quit after writing 1/100th of crappy parser with a generator? What? The fuck? Open source implementation of Jai compiler. Ah, this is like Yak or Lek, whatever it is, right? So it uses parser generator. Ooh. Where's the link? Wait, where is the link? Is generator run, does it run separately? Didn't Ginger Bill? I mean, Ginger Bill did his own language. Parser. Ooh. Oh, it's like custom parser generator, so it's not like Lek. Right? Generator from the shell. Ah, like separately, I see, I see. Something like Bison, yeah, weird. Well, I mean, the project is clearly like dead. Somebody just like fucked around and figured that it's not interesting. Pretty good organized project. Yeah. Hey, Rutifan, hello. I've written a couple parsers, but it seemed like ways to. Yeah, yeah. I think parser generators are like a dead end idea, right? So they were like a hotness they were like a hot new thing in the 90s or like 80s, I don't know. But I think by now everybody pretty much realized that it's a waste of time. Yeah, so maybe, maybe like in the 90s, like Yak could emit like faster state machine when parsing took a lot of time. But now in pretty much all languages, lexing and parsing is probably 1% of all the, time budget, like complexity budget. If I recall correctly, in Jai, there's like 90% of complexities in type checking. And as far as I know, the code that it generates is pretty horrendous. It has very bad error messages, and editing it by hand is pretty fucking annoying. So I don't think it's, I don't think it's even worth it. The AST it gives you needs to be translated into another representation for it to be useful. I see. I worked a little bit with a project that used Yak or Lek. I forgot what. It's like yet another like parser generator Yapg. I don't remember. Yeah, it used to parse some very like custom. There's another compiler. That one was like a Python implementation because the project was in Python, and it was used to create a parser for very simple um, SQL-like DSL to then translate it into Python calls, and it was just like an overhead. You could parse it by hand way easier. So yeah, I am very, very unconvinced by parser generators. One exception is TreeSitter. Because TreeSitter doesn't try to be a generic purpose parser generator. TreeSitter is built with a specialization to be used in code like text editors, basically in programs that needs to incrementally parse source codes. So I think TreeSitter is pretty cool. It is a parser generator, like right, the code it generates is pretty horrendous, but you are never intended to use this code and build anything on top of it. You just leave this grammar and you just write simple queries on top of the grammar. And then it lets you like incrementally reparse, blah, blah, blah. So I think TreeSitter is pretty cool. So parser generators do have use, but when it's, like niche and stuff like this. So what's that? Unlab input event, found mapping. Uh-huh. Let me remove that. Actually, we can do log debug. Huh. It's like if runtime, what is that again? Runtime debug, yeah. There you go. The thing I don't get with code organization, a lot of people get pushed into thinking separation for separation's sake. Yeah. I totally agree. I don't really care about. I always just start with a single file, and then I just use good old. I use good old semantic compression methodology to organize my code base. By Casey Muratori, by the way. If you never read about semantic compression, Highly recommend. This is like the only article you ever need to read about code organization. Yeah. I reread it like every year, and every year I'm like, hmm. Yeah, same. I read it pretty much like every year, and it gets better the more I read it. It's funny to me that when John started Jai, people said parsing would be impossible. Learning quite a few languages from toy interpreters to serious compilers, and like you said, yeah, why would people think that parsing? Yeah, man, I don't know. Like, I don't know. These are people who, like, opened a Dragon compiler book, read like first two chapters, and like, oh my god, parsing is so fucking complicated. You know? Oh, what the fuck is this? Ah, never mind. What's that? Ah, I'm reading the opposite key and see if it's pressed or not. So this code has like a hash table access, and then this shit. Well, this shit is actually pretty fast. It checks some like very like efficient key bit shenanigans. It does do IOCTL though, but it's impossible not to do it. I would be happy to be able to get devices without comparing strings. I don't think it's possible though, unfortunately, because libinput gives you device sysname. Um, so unless I roll my own, I have my own code to do all of this shit, but libinput is just kind of quote unquote industry standard. We'll see. I might ditch it when I start handling controllers. Yeah, good night, Emil. Thanks for stopping by. Always appreciate the company. See you around. They never even opened the book. Yeah, maybe. In early compilers, parsing was majority of the task. Yeah. As I said, maybe that is true, especially considering that all of the string operations were very like mm, they took a lot of CPU time, right? So having very efficient state machines, as for example, like from Bison or Yak, was probably beneficial, probably had a lot of benefits. But these days, like these days, it's literally doesn't matter how you parse. This error code, this error logging must be improved. Yeah, let's fix the bug first. So the bug is for people who just joined. Oh, what? Why is it undeclared? Ah, because I'm not doing using. Hmm. Wait, what? Ah, I'm getting bind name if runtime debug, but here I'm trying to log it. If couldn't write one-to-one mapping for, I guess I'll just do the code. I can probably just get key name here again. Like this, and semicolons. There you have it. So I have A map to D. So if I am pressing A here, this should say D. Oh, here, but see, I'm pressing A and I see A. So I'm pressing A on the physical keyboard, I see A. And only if I remap the key again, now I will see D. So you see, I'm pressing A, look at my input debug, and look at my text editor, but D comes out. So this is the bug. It's because when we parse profiles, when we parse fucking profiles, I don't set active binds. That's the bug. Hello, Lada. Привет, привет. Welcome. Where's parse profile? Parse settings. There you go. This is my bespoke config parser, by the way. So I don't use JSON. I don't use like XML, God forbid. I just have very simple text-based parser, and I just literally parse it in a single function. There you go. So how big it is? 435, 611. So it's 100 and like 70, 80 lines of code, including comments and empty lines. So it's probably 100 and like 50, 140 tops to parse config files, including very like thorough error checking. Very simple. For a flat structure of any markup languages, of markup languages or JSON is overkill. Yeah, I agree. And in my case, it's not really flat. Well, so in my case, it's not flat conceptually, but I make it flat because I do like start end. So technically I would have like array of profiles and right, this information would be nested, but I do like start end and I know I can just parse it line by line. Yeah. And mapping is also technically nested. I mean, they can be nested. So in the future, I will extend this and I will let you map one key to a sequence of keys and maybe key with like a random, how you call it, timeout. But there is always a way to make it flat for like cases of parsing, right? And you just don't need JSON. And maybe actually I will just switch to using binary format for the config. I'm thinking about making it binary. Because I never intend for people to edit it by hand. So there is no like real reason to have it in text format. You know what I mean? And parsing binary data is way easier than parsing text. Also way faster. So yeah. But here I just do a bunch of stuff and at the end I do array add. I add the profile mappings and I also, so what I also need to do, I need to add it to sort of active binds. And this is the code. So I like init settings. Yeah, I parse them and then I do maybe fix up. And then in maybe fix up, what this does, if right, so what it does is it default, yeah, it creates default profile if it doesn't found, if it didn't find, if it hasn't found one. That's basically all it does. Reinsert add, rewrite settings true, rewrite settings true, if not active profile in UI, blah 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 blah. So this means that if I nuke this Hitboxer global like that, and I restart my program, it will restore it. You see, it will always have this profile, no matter what you do. That's the idea for this particular code. And so here we need to do I guess active binds, right? Like mapping source code equals mapping, I guess this is what we do. Oh, but then we need to check if it's like opposite or not opposite. Let me check what I deleted here, because I definitely removed some code from here. Yikes, trailing white space. Yeah. This is what I deleted. Yep. This is what I deleted. So let's do that again. The fuck is this? If mapping one of these, then we do the fuck is that? Active binds mapping destination code equals mapping source. Yep. And now I gather if I run it and I add AD and let me close it and reopen it again. Now if I'm gonna press A, D should come out. And it fucking does. So let me open the debug display. You see, I'm having A's here. I'm pressing A on a physical keyboard and you see D in a text editor. So bug fixed, or rather the functionality restored. Functionality restored and justice restored as well. I've noticed that I copy paste this code a lot, like if mapping mode equals blah blah. Also, or neutral also, or mapping mode equals. So that was actually a bug in old code. So it should check for these three. And it seems like I've done it enough times to maybe compress it. Speaking about compression-oriented programming, right? So if I go back to Linux and look at this. Same check. Well, in this case, I do more stuff here. So this is a bad example. What I actually need to is this. Yeah. So this is the code, right? So if modes blah blah blah, then you set on the destination, you set the source. And this is exactly the same code. If modes this, on a destination, you set source. This is exactly the same code. And this is too. So this, and this is all copy pasted. So we should probably have it as a like as a utility function. Before I do this, I want to check more sort of edge cases. So this works, right? And let's put it as the opposite, and then yeah, so I can actually do this. Right, so I press A, I only press D, but you can see A's here. And it's because I physically I hold A physically. Maybe I should actually have it. Like you press a button and it just stays here, and then everything else just fills up. Maybe I should raise this debug view up a little bit. So it kind of, maybe it checks for held keys, maybe checks for keys override here and stuff like that. So maybe it shows more of the action. Let me check neutral. So I'm pressing AD at the same time and I'm holding them. And normally you would have one of them repeating, right? So for example, I'm holding A, you can see A repeating. I'm holding D, you can see D repeating. But if I hold A and I press D, they both stop. And this actually works. Let me close the program and see that these sort of mappings get correctly restored upon program relaunch. Bloop. And then, yeah, it works. So I'm holding A and D physically on my keyboard right now. Right here. You can see A, D pressed at the same time. And I can even say A, then D, and it stops. Yeah, it works. It works. It works. It absolutely works. Nice. I think I can now confidently just go and commit all of that. Well, with one exception that I need to nuke trailing white spaces. Oh, 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 there was a bug actually here somewhere. Remember there was a one time when I changed mapping mode and it erased one of the key codes? So there is somewhere here, there's a bug that I need to fix before I do that. So first, let me quickly look at the comments. Array of binds for showing in UI. Yeah, this comment is irrelevant. Oh, wait, what? Why can't I? Ah, oh yeah, it's because I need to fucking update. Sorry for the interruption. This one. So now this is a very simple function. Let me inline it. Look at this, we're writing clean code. My function only has 2 lines of code. Very clean. Right, so what do we have here? Here. Fine, this is fine, this is fine. This particular code can remove a bunch of comments. What next do we have? Here we don't need destination pointer. Yeah, actually same here. This is irrelevant. To do, rename to device type. So you mean this? I kind of like TuneKind. Fuck you. Bob Martin's like that, yeah. I know this might sound crazy, but I actually don't like hate Uncle Bob or anything like that. I don't think he's like a fraud or anything. Uh, big hash table purge. Hell yeah. Uh, so what now? Hey City, hello. Pretty cool guy, but opinionated. He's pretty cool guy, yeah. Indeed. Welcome, welcome. Um, so how do we reproduce the bug? And is it what's that? Oh right. Yeah, I broke init settings on Windows. This should be yeah, so the current by the way, the current code that I have here, it won't even compile on Windows. I have 0.13 working on Windows and yeah, it works, but the current code base current code base won't even build. Yeah, so yeah, there you have it. I will, I guess before releasing all of that, so the scenario I guess will be one of two. Either I just release this version of the code as point 13 for Linux, and then I work on point 14 for Windows and Linux, or second scenario is that I finish I finish the new version, kind of like quote unquote finalize it, right? Uh, then I switch back to Windows, and then I update like entire Windows. So there are few new things that I've implemented that don't have Windows support yet. For example, log rotation and stuff like that. And proper like storing of settings file and yeah, proper storing of log file. So I need to do all of that on Windows and then push point 14 for both of them. Yeah. Maybe that's a good way to do it. It will probably mean that point 14 release will be delayed by another like week, maybe two. Because I will have to implement platform layer for Windows like entirely. Or I need to do some brutal like if defs. I realized a huge fucking design flaw of my Windows version because I realized that low-level keyboard hooks are single-threaded on Windows. Um, what is this? The fuck is type indicator? Huh, interesting. Right. Do you have Windows users? Yes, I actually do. I actually do have Windows users. And I would say even more, I only have Windows users because this program is not released for Linux yet, like at all. So the Linux release will be the first one. Well, I guess the only Linux user of this program is me. I'm using it, yes. I'm using it pretty extensively myself, but you know, it doesn't really count. I mean, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I should do next release for Windows and Linux both. And I'm just saying that there are two ways to do it. A lazy way and a correct way. Correct team, yeah. Right. So let's try to do the bug. The issue is that sometimes when I switch, huh? Maybe it get fixed. Hmm. I know what the issue was. The issue was that I did not. Actually, no, I don't know what the issue was. Well, home? Numlock is. Num5, num4, num3. Wait, did I set. Did I manage to set numlock on one of these? Or am I. Well, I mean, it kind of works, right? So let's say num8 and then I. Well. So let's do remap and now this should emit 8. Oh. It emits up instead of num8. But why? I mean, I have numlock. Interesting. Does Emacs not support numlock keys? Holy shit! Emacs doesn't support numlocks. That's fucking crazy. I have numlock enabled, so here I have a separate numlock, and you see the thing is green. But I'm pressing num keys and it just fucking it doesn't input stuff. That's wild. Uh, does it work in like a terminal though? Let me add it back. So for example, from A to num8, and now if I, it still doesn't. What? It presses up. Huh. What the fuck? Is numlock cooked? I think my numlock keyboard might be cooked. You know what? I think my numlock keyboard might be like physically cooked. Well, oh well. Or maybe I have a bug that cooked it like permanently. but it's weird. Whatever. Numpad, yeah, numpad keyboard. Sorry. I meant numpad. Hey Xerex, hello. Uh, what about without your? Yes. I just killed my virtual keyboard, and you see, so like ev test. Yeah, so you see no hitboxers here. So this is the Hing Chang Tong numpad. This is the numpad, and I killed the hitboxer. Let me kill it, and it yeah, it doesn't work. I'm pressing numpad 8. You see the button is green. I'm pressing. Do you see it? Yeah, I'm pressing 8, and it goes up. Like you see, it goes up. A session to your own machine because you killed your keyboard. I mean, sometimes I have to. Sometimes I have to, but not now. So yeah, I guess my numpad is cooked. I know, maybe I can unplug it and plug it back again, but whatever. I'm not gonna bother. Hey Kingful, anyone here use GitHub? I deleted a file in my backup branch. Main still has the file. When I do git merge main, it just say already up to date. File is still missing from backup. So if you want to merge main back to your branch, main should be on top of your. So okay, let me draw it. I don't know if you're still here. Let me draw it. Let me show you. Oh, that's a fucked up color. So what happens is that, yeah. So you have your main. Let's draw it from bottom to top. So we have y go down, right? So this is your main. Sorry. I can. Yeah. So we have main. This is your main, right? This is main. Yeah. And let's say you created a branch here, right? It's called not here, like from here. Your branch called like backup. And here you like did changes, right? You nuked the file, right? So if you try to do git merge main, it will say that your branch is up to date because the main is below your branch, right? So if this is the situation you're in, merge is not gonna work. What you need to do is, if you want to merge file to here, well, if you want to just restore the backup file, you can literally switch to main, copy the file like by hand, switch back, paste the file. It's if this is all you want. But if you want changes from main to merge here, right, to here, then main needs to advance, right? So there should be another commit to main, and then Git will realize that, oh, branches diverged, and then it will let you merge main here so you can proceed. Because if this is your situation, Git will tell you that, oh, the main is up to date because there were no changes to main since you have started. Maybe, yes. So maybe you need to do something else, right? If you don't want to just restore the file, maybe you want to roll back some changes. You can do git reset. You can also use reflog, but this is a bit more advanced. There's also git reset. You can git reset hard. This will literally like rolls you back to the very first commit with resetting all of the files. You can also do like git reset soft. So git reset soft. Yeah. Take a look at this docs. Let me unflashbang you. Yes, git reset soft. It will roll back commits, but it will show you the diff. And so if you remove the file from the branch, you can like undo the remove from git. Something like that. Maybe this documentation is a bit confusing, but yeah, I guess you now know where to look at. Yeah, just push something new to main. This will work. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. But yeah, Git is like confusing. I was watching Nuno's podcast with Bukash about his Arc version control system, and I realized just how much of internal Git complexity I am okay with it. I'm just get used to it. Like, yeah, I merged like rebase, like all of this stuff, like remote. I do all of this all this dance without even realizing that it's not intuitive at all, that it's like fucked up, that there's a lot of complexity that I just don't need the way I work with projects. It's just complexity that I got used to, and it's not painful anymore. This podcast just made me realize that. What do you think on cases 10? I totally agree with him. Git is too hard for 99% of people. Like 90, maybe not 99, maybe 95% of people don't need majority of the features that Git has. Um, right? So for most people, even small teams, just want trunk-based development where they just push to main, or their main would be like their default dev branch, and sometimes they would do like a little bloop to make a release, or like bloop to like push to prod. So yeah, most people just want trunk-based and centralized development. They don't want to have it decentralized. Yes, exactly. Like Git was created to solve problems that Linux kernel has. Linux kernel is unique open source project. There is absolutely no other project like Linux kernel, right? Because Linux kernel literally has multiple, it is decentralized. A lot of different organizations have their own like kernel tree, and they commit from different things, like hundreds, like thousands of people working on it. I'm pretty sure even if you take Chromium is not even close to this level of decentralization. And Git was created to manage Linux kernel. I think the way why Git got so popular in other, I don't know, like other industries. I don't know, maybe because other version control systems were shit. Maybe because of GitHub, because GitHub got very popular. Like, I don't know. I mean, GitHub popularity certainly didn't hurt, but I don't know if GitHub was the main driving factor behind Git's popularity. I mean, there were other version control systems that were free, right? There was Bazaar, there was HG, like HG, I forgot what it's called. Mercurial, yeah, this one. Not hydrogen, but yeah, Mercury. I remember the Russian name, but I forgot what it's. Yeah, Mercurial. I mean, Subversion is shit. Uh, I know why some game devs use Subversion, but I mean, yeah, you started programming when Git or bust, right? Or if you're in game industries like Perforce or Git. I don't want to trade Git for anything simpler. Me neither. Git or me neither, but only because I already got used to Git. I got used to Git. I can get myself out of pretty much any situation, like diverged heads, like removed heads, fucking beheaded branches. I can always like cherry pick myself out of it. Yeah. I also have a very good Git client, right? So I don't really care about new version control systems, but I understand that there is certainly like a need for it. Or you know, need or don't not need, you can argue about it. There's certainly a market for new version control system, especially when we're talking about like game devs. Like somebody who needs to deal with a lot of binary data, right? Because Git is very bad with binary data, and GitLFS fucking sucks. Hocus pocus. GitLFS is shit. I was working with a project that used GitLFS, and it's such a fucking pain in the ass. I mean, it's just fucking painful to work with. Because it's a third-party tool, it's not integrated very well. I don't know, like Nuno actually explains it pretty well in the podcast. I don't know, maybe I should link the podcast. Because I keep mentioning it. Uh, Arc. It's 3 hours long.
So to me, languages are like religions.
But where was the chapter about GitLFS? And binary file issues. So I think it's around minute 36. There is a time code. So yeah, you can read about it. I used it for a bit. It was horrendous for local branches. I think it has strong filtering and would delete any local branch binary. Yeah, So the way we work with binary files now is, if it's just small images, we just push them into Git repos, whatever. If it's something bigger, we actually just push it into AWS S3, and in like the repo, we would have like a file with like the with like a file revision or something like that. I don't do games, no. I'm actually a web monkey in my daily life. Yeah. So we don't have a lot of binary files. I don't need GitLFS at all. All we have is some like images or some video data, like a little video snippet, some icons. All of that are okay just to store in the repo, or a couple archives that we have in S3. What stack, if you don't mind me? Well, I have had a long career, mostly in outsource, so I've done a lot of different shit. Over the years, I've done like Python, like all possible Python stacks, like Django, Flask, like even fucking Pyramid. I done PHP, right? So like you have WordPress, Symfony, like Laravel. I did all of that. I did some Ruby on Rails. And currently, so I did Next.js with like JS stack. At the moment, main project uses like React Router. So it's a remix in the past. So now I do a lot of React, which is, it's way less exciting than this, than whatever this is. And it's also there is a service with like React Router, and also there's a bunch of like backends written in Hono, which is Ban related like TypeScript framework. How's the pay in Serbia, or do you work with outsource? So I don't work with outsource. I work with product company right now. I just work for them as a contractor. The company is outside of Serbia, and the pay is good because I don't work for a Serbian company. In Serbia, the pay is shit. Uh, if I worked for a, does it go to 3K? I mean, in if you work for a Serbian company, you can probably make like 3 or 4. Yeah, but it's like tops, like 3 to 4K like euros a month. Maybe if you're like super like fucking senior, you would get like 6K a month if you work in Serbia. I don't know. What about big companies like Microsoft? I mean, City. Why do you think big companies like Microsoft open their offices in Serbia? Why do you think they do it? Do you think they open their offices in Belgrade or like in Pristina to pay people Silicon Valley salaries? Come on, man. No, they do not. Yes. So yeah. They might pay like slightly above the market, right? Maybe like a little bit above the market. But some guy decided, nah, nobody would open a huge fucking campus because they don't want to live in Redmond, right? But yeah, they maybe will pay slightly above the market, right? And yeah, so I think you would make better money if you just work like as an outsourced contractor for American companies while living in Balkans, which I think a lot of people here do. And I did for pretty much almost the entire thing. It's just I just happen to work for a product company now directly. So I'm not jumping from project to project. I just work for the same company for the last year. Actually, it's like a year. It's like a year and 3 months, give or take. Yeah. It works like a contract, right? So I have like a small business unit here, I guess LLC in American terms. And I just signed a contract with a company, and every month they just drop me a bunch of money with an invoice, right? I provide an invoice, they drop money, uh, and I pay taxes. That's it. That's about it. Yeah. You pay taxes, L. Yeah. Yeah. I'm not that cool anymore. I used to when I lived in Russia and I just started my career. Back then it was mid like 2010s, so it was like 2015 when I started. Well, I started my career earlier. I started like 2012, but I was still in uni and I had like a part-time job when I did something on the border of programming and accounting. There was like an accounting system and I would write like some code for that accounting system. Doesn't matter. The point is, back then it was very, very fashionable in Russia to avoid paying taxes by hiring like people and just giving them money in an envelope, right? You wouldn't even be like an official employee. Or you could be like an official employee, but then officially you would have like a minimal salary, like super minimal salary, and you would get like hired part-time. So it was literally like 2000 rubles. And back then it was like, I don't remember how much it was back then. It was how much it was back then. So it was about $30 for one. So we do like divide by 30. So I mean, yeah, give or take 60, like $70 a month would be your official salary. And then everything else you would just get in an envelope. So most of your pay would not get taxed. And yeah, a lot of people did that. and it changed maybe around 2000, like 16, 17, where a lot of IT companies, I guess they got busted, right? Because there was a lot of money in IT, and so people just started paying normal salaries and paying normal taxes. That's how I got paid when I did security job. Yeah. And I don't want to say that it's something, oh, exclusive to Russia. I'm pretty sure entirety of the world, even like first world countries, have a lot of this. Under the table. Yeah, thank you. This is how it's called. It's called under the table in English. In Russian, it works. It's called в черную. So you work in the black. So there's like there are two tiers, right? В черную, so in the black, where all of your like you're not even employed. Entirety of your salary is under the table. And there's also в серую, so in the gray, right? Where you are employed, but officially you get like a minimal wage, and then everything else goes under the table. Yeah. There was also like a sub tier of gray, which is which was usually happening in government like organizations. So let me describe it how it worked. Like, you would be officially employed, you would get all of your salary taxed, but it would get split. So your official part, like your base, is minimal wage, and then everything else gets paid as a bonus, right? Official bonus, it's taxed, but the only mandatory pay that you must receive is your base. Like the bonus is kind of, if the company decides so. And then a lot of companies would use this as a leverage, right? If they don't like you, they would like not pay you this bonus or pay like half of the bonus, right? You know what I mean? So it's all official, but then you become a fucking slave. Kind of like this. And this still happens. This still happens in Russia a lot, but these days, at least IT is fully like taxed because there's just too much money, and everybody like got fucked by the tax man. What about buying stuff like cars and doing tax write-off? Can you do that? Yeah, yeah. Usually people buy people always buy cars and stuff like that, fully legally. So you buy a car, you pay like tax for that, and all the stuff, and then you pay like car tax every year. So nothing different here. So I bought a car in Serbia, and it's the process is exactly the same. You just buy a car, you pay tax, and then you prolong it every year. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Bonuses are bad for pension and for getting mortgage. Yes, exactly. Well, in Russia, I don't really care about pension because I think by the time I'm old, pensions get like cancelled anyway. I will have to make my own pension, or maybe I'll just die young. You know how it goes. Yeah, so this all works. For some reason, numpad doesn't work, but seems like it's just a quirk of my numpad. Or maybe my system. Because I mean here, in my program, numpad gets emitted. So numpad here, it doesn't get emitted by the numpad. It gets emitted by my program in software. But it still doesn't work. I still only receive the key. So maybe something else. Maybe like some operating system state got broken. I don't know. I don't know. Huh. You know what, actually? So technically, when you press numpad on Linux, in reality, what happens Linux actually emits to different key codes. First, Linux emits a numpad, like numlock, and then it emits an actual key. So maybe something got broken here in the translation. Huh. Let me even like print it to the console, right? Print, what the oh, I pressed caps lock. Yeah, this is another reason why Emacs fucking sucks. Key, right, and key. Yeah, so here me pressing A. Wait, no. Let me press numpad. Aha. Yeah, so it's actually broken. So I'm pressing the key, numpad 8, and it only presses up. But it should literally emit a numlock every time. Every single time it should emit numlock, then key code, then numlock again for unpress, and then key code again. And for some reason, it doesn't happen. Why? Why would it not happen? Huh. I wonder. And then this, so yeah, numlock doesn't even get registered. And numlock doesn't even get registered. I actually don't know if it should. Interesting. What if I print event here? Right, like just like event itself. It's like an opaque thing. It will just print some weird ass number. But so yeah. Oh, look at this. It actually no. Yeah, it prints event key. Yeah, so it's literally literally my system just doesn't know that numlock is enabled. So I guess this one is cooked. Yeah, I guess my numpad is cooked. But it's weird. Right? So when I do this, yeah, it says up. But then if I turn numlock on and I press, now it knows about num8. Oh, you know what happens? It emits different key code. It emits the code for num8, but it doesn't press the num key itself. Numlock key. Again, so just so we're on the same page, the way it works on Linux is, let me first nuke this shit. Oh, amazing. And then beautiful. My painting skills are amazing. I know. I'm a professional graphical designer. So yeah, the way it works on Linux is that every time you press a keyboard key, and not numlock, when numlock is enabled, the way it works is your keyboard through the driver should emit two key codes. First, it will say numlock, and then it will emit an actual key, right? Like num like 8, for example. And then your user space should like combine these two and realize that, oh, you meant num8. But for some reason, my numpad, it emits numpad 8 code, but it doesn't emit this. So this doesn't happen. And that's why operating system, instead of like emitted numpad 8, even though numpad 8 has a separate... So this is like a redundancy. This is like a redundant key code that you don't even need in Linux in principle, because numpad 8 and up, they have a separate key codes, unlike on Windows when they have the same one. But on Linux they are different, but the operating system still interprets this as up when it doesn't see that one. That's what happens. And so let me show you input.jai. So we have num key. It's like a pad. This is keypad. Key 8, yeah, button 8. Yeah, numeric. This is the ones. So you have numeric 8, which is 208 code, which is 520. What? It wasn't 520 though. Is it not numeric 8? No, it is. Why would it do 72 then? That's weird. Something is fishy going on. What is 72? Ah, KP8. Yeah. So sorry. Numeric 8 is something completely different. There you go. KP8. Yeah, 72. This is numlock. And so they should be preceded by event 69. This should happen. So it should emit 69 and then 72. But it only emits 72. And up and down have different key codes. So up has 103. And so even though they have different key codes, the kernel, or I guess the user space, still relies on two of them. I know, maybe for historical reasons. I actually don't understand the reason. Why would you even need numlock key code since you have this unambiguous, but you know, it is what it is. So at least I'm happy it's not a bug that I introduced somehow. Unless I somehow broke like the system state with my shit. How did it even happen though? Mapping resolving hook is installed. Actually, you know what? Maybe I like swallowed it once and now it just never like got unpressed or something. Let me actually check this. First, let me turn some music on because I feel like I'm start getting sleepy a little bit. So yeah. So in my lib input handling, I think there should be like a case for 69, no? Do you have anything for 69? No. Let's actually do something for 69. Let me explicitly handle this key numlock. So when we get key numlock here, if mapping setting hook is installed and key not equal key numlock, only in this case we handle mapping setting. right? And now let me physically unplug the numpad and plug it again and see if it maybe changes something. First, where it is? Where the fuck? Yeah. So now let's save. Oh, now it works. I see 8s here. Yeah. So this is I'm pressing keys on num. Now let me run my program. And look at this. Yeah, you see, I see numlock, num8, numlock, num8. Yeah. You see it. Actually, I should probably swallow numlocks for logging purposes. Let me actually do this real quick before I proceed. Where do I log the key? Yeah, log input event. And health check not equals this, and key not equals key numlock. So now when I press, I see num8, num6, yeah. And now let me press A here. Oh, no, still goes up. Oh. So I understand why I'm not emitting num8. It's for the same reason when this was like broken. Because if I press one of the numlock keys, I should first import num and then import the key itself. I can easily fix it with a bunch of if-else around numlocks, but I can also fix it generically. Like in a generic way by allowing to bind multiple keys to one. But no, in case of numlock, I should definitely just special case it. How do we do it? So here. If remap. 1, 2. So this is the original event. Input output. Yeah, so what I need to do, let's just get it for remaps. So I should check if this is one of fucking inputs. One of KP. So from 71 to 83. Yo, Buzzer, hello, welcome. So you do this. Let's just do that. If bind that code is bigger than equal than key KP7 and bind the code less or equal than key kp dot, and this actually should be here. Then we need to do this twice. So first, and it's not gonna be binded code, this is gonna be key numlock. Wait. Yes, key numlock. And then scene report. And I will do write, written, blah 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 blah. And then log error, we could not write one-to-one mapping for like, it's kind of super stupid, but yeah. And so now oh yeah, it works already. You see, I'm pressing A and it inputs 8. Yeah, look at this. I'm pressing A and it says 8 here in the mini buffer. So yeah, now numpad works for remappings. Easy clap. Yeah, so this works, but it's kind of stupid. And I guess I need to like fucking, I need to handle this every time. Yo, Connor, hello. This is pretty cool that I've managed to completely accidentally stumble upon this bug. You got an ad about hot Jai programmers in your area. Hope you will find them. I've heard they are very hot. And I guess you do need to unpress. Let me remove this and remove this. So how do I do it more kind of smart than throwing this if else anywhere? Can I even do that? Handle lib input event. Excuse me. Actually, I just do this. So if key no, so if blah blah blah, else if, then this. Otherwise, I just do that. Yeah. I guess it's fine, not a big deal, right? I can like optimize it later, but whatever. Don't want to. But then I need to handle this thing. Maybe slightly. Right, so how do I do this kind of more smart than doing this in every single one of them? Right, so one of these, if press, to unpress. So if I need to, so basically, yeah, every time I send an event, I need to check if the event is for numlock, and then I need to add numlock. Yeah, and then blah blah blah. So at this point, I really should just extract all of that into a helper function and just call it. Just press like bleh. Or unpress bleh. Yeah. And this is a pretty boring thing. I know exactly what to do. It's just annoying like amount of typing. I'll probably do it off screen. This is completely non-interesting thing. I'll just like to do extract this and make it work for all modes. Yeah. So anything else we could like fuck around with? You know, maybe I could add a little bit like a flair here. So at the moment, you see when I'm pressing keys, it's kind of like, yeah, they get like fade out. But then I don't know where I stopped, right? So I stopped here. And for example, if I want to debug a like sequence of keys, like I know I stopped here, and these are kind of old ones. So this like, which is new, which is old, right? I don't know. And so I'm thinking that I can insert some kind of a cursor after the key, right? So I typed, and now the cursor would be here. Like I typed, cursor would be here. So you know that this is the last one. So these are newer than these ones. This is one of the things I can do. Another thing I can do is I can just get all of the indices after the cursor. And maybe just remove the keycaps. So either this or that. What do we think about it? Let's experiment. Draw input inputs window. So this is the entire procedure that draws these keycaps, our key, and after drawing the key, it would also draw like the cursor. Like just immediate quote maybe. Like this. Whoops. It's like do simp immediate quote and rect dot x plus rect dot w rect dot y, then width would be which maybe this like plus like 5. Yeah. rect, and the color would be like key theme, color, like frame. I don't know. Let's see how it looks like. Color frame is not found. What does it look like? Ah, it's frame color. Apologize. So, fuck, it draws after each one of them, right? Doesn't help. If it index equals input like slot, I think it's called. No, slot. Display slot. No, not display slot. Event slot. Yeah. Let's call it event slot. Event slot, and then we go back here. I'm gonna take a little W. Oh shit, I did the race condition that I haven't fixed yet. And now it kind of works. Oh, where is it? Oh, event slot is like... So I need to drop it to 0 here as well. Event slot... So instead of doing this, let me actually just do event slot. Like that. And then event slot equals to so I do like +1, and then I need to do like equals. I guess like this. Wait. %. Right, so I do plus and then mod it with count. Probably even like this. Right. No. Event slot +1 and then this. I think this is how you do it, right? So it's here. And then, yeah, so it works. And the 0. Yeah, so this works. And then I need to go back here and I wonder why. Ah, yeah, because that's plus. Yeah, so it. I guess we can just kind of cheese it out a little bit. But this won't work for the first one, yeah, and Hey Mario, hello. Boom. Yeah, we can do kind of like that. And then rect plus W plus, like, I don't know, like 2, I guess you can do that. So it's a little bit to the side. So these are 10. So I think if you do 2, yeah. So you can also, I guess I can remove 1 here and instead just draw it like in between, in front. So instead of doing X plus W, I can just do X. And this is gonna be like X plus 5. And now they are perfectly aligned. Holy shit, 15 streaks! You're crazy! Thank you for being my super fan, but you know what I mean. Hell yeah. Streakers assemble or something, yeah. So it's and then it's gonna be here. The cursor is before the next one. Boom. So it's just press this one. Just press this one. Yeah. Now the cursor is here. Really fun with the streak. Holy shit. Alright, yeah, I like this cursor. I just wanted to have like this. I want to have this the same color as this one. And so let me go here and what did they lerp here? Oh yeah. Wait, corner color? There is no corner color. There is no. Yeah, so frame color, frame color, surface color, flash, and pressed factor. So literally do this. Cursor color. What? Ah, yeah. Bro! It's a key theme, frame color, and key theme. X. Yeah, like that. Bro, what? What do you mean? Bro, why doesn't it do the color? What? Bruh. Ah. Let me go let me do it like this, and then cursor color is frame color, and then surface. I think this is why. Oh. No, it doesn't work. Why is this not fucking flashing? I'm so confused. What if I write the cursor before the key? Alright, yeah, then the... Naturally. But why the color here doesn't change? Let's print it. So, what? Free in old log string message. Need to actually print it. Yeah, it does change, you see? But why does my quad not use this? You. So yeah, color is correct. Why does it... Why is it not using it then? No, it should be fine. Why is it getting cached or something? The fuck? If I don't draw keys like at all.
There are 4 stages involved in launching a ballistic missile. The first one is the boost stage. It starts at the point the missile is launched and ends after all the rocket fuel is burned and the missile is propelled into the exosphere. The next stage is the post-boost.
I don't know why
It starts after all
it doesn't work.
and ends after the re-entry vehicle is ejected. Next is
Like it clearly should work, right?
it takes place after the re-entry vehicle is
Oh.
ejected and lasts until the missile enters the exosphere. Then comes the final stage. It
So yeah, look at this.
when the re-entry vehicle enters the exosphere, and it lasts until it reaches its ultimate target on the ground.
Why are you spinning, bro? Stop spinning.
Military satellites to detect rocket emissions during the initial boost stage of a missile. But this new nuclear weapon employs the railgun's ability to fire projectiles
Right, so you have this
instead of using a rocket.
1035 to...
By today's missile,
Yeah, you see it. Yeah, it does. But then it...
the re-entry vehicle also uses stealth technology. It's so accurate that
But then we have that in between.
50 meters. That's as good as the best ICBM. A highly accurate, undetectable.
Oh.
Wouldn't even be able to tell where it came from. And that's not all.
The color should be here as well. I'm a fucking idiot.
Solid fuel rocket for its propulsion system. Besides costing lots of money, safely maintaining the solid rocket fuel and readying the missile for launch requires
No?
a lot of work. But a railgun launched nuclear warhead avoids all of those problems.
It's the perfect nuke. I need to fix this race condition. Maybe we'll fix the race condition on the next stream. Right, so... Wait, why does it not print the call? Ah, fuck, I removed it. White now renders infinitely, what? Right, so... Ah. Ah, I know, I see why. So the pressed factor... Yeah. So the pressed factor is calculating on the currently rendered button, and it gets reset here. So I need to get press factor for the latest. Yeah, I need to get the press factor for the key that it's at this index. Yeah. But I already do. Am I not? So I'm calculating press factor from the time delta. And time delta is from now the timestamp of the particular key. So it gets the pressed factor of that particular key, right? Yes. Of this particular key. And then I use a press factor of this particular key here. So what do you not like? Why is color the same? Let's print press factor. Yes. CC. Boop. Let's go all the way down. Right, so press factor is in then boom. Oh, pressed factor 0? This is crazy. Why is it 0? And why it prints so many of them? It index is for the next one. I'm stupid. It indexes for the next one. So we put the key on an event slot, and then we increment event slot. That's what we do. And this gets drawn in front of the next button, for which pressed factor is still 0. So we need to take inputs log, and this should be guaranteed to always be present. And then, yeah. And now I think it should be, ooh, what? Oh. Oh, fuck, I don't calculate press factor. I don't store press factor. I'll calculate it every time. So, alert the mission. I guess let me do display slot differently. No, not the callback, not this one. Event slot. So we store event on the event slot. Then we update the event slot. And then logs will probably get this updated event slot when they draw. That's an issue. So I do it index +1 then, yeah, because that's gonna be easier than storing, because I don't want to store the pressed factor on the input event itself because it's like ephemeral. There is no reason, because I already stored the timestamp and it just gets calculated. There's no reason to cache it. Blech. So if it index +1 equals event slot, event slop. Yeah, you see, now it works. You see? And the only thing I need to do is I need to rect that W here. And to get this one back. And now, hell yeah. Yeah. And here you know that. Well, we could probably like... we could probably special case this part so that it draws here again, but I don't think it's... It's like that necessary. We can certainly do that. Yeah. I guess in this case, event slot is 0. So if equals event slot, we do that. And let me like raise it up a little bit. So it should be maybe like a pixel. So it should be maybe like 2 pixels in width. And it should be maybe like +2 pixels to the right. Those are not actually pixels, those are units. Oh, adjusted for, wait, not plus 2, it's like +2 and +2 more, so it's like +4. Those are units adjusted for DPI in reality. Yeah. +2, maybe let's do +3, and then it is like 3 kind of units wide. Whoops. Shit. It's like it should be 6. So the way coordinates work for immediate quads is slightly different than they work for rectangles, so I'm kind of getting confused. I kind of like this. Yeah, what do we think about it? Just +1 pixel. So it's like gonna be 3 and 7. And then if index +1 equals that, we draw it against the next one. Else if event slot equals 0, kind of special case it a little bit with the same sort of deal. Whoops. Actually, now we can do cursor color here. We don't need to hide it. And we can do key theme also here. Don't need to extract that. Don't need to print this anymore. Don't need to do any of this. And in this case, if event slot equals 0, maybe if it index equals 0. Right? No? No, if event slot, yeah, if event slot equals 0. Then we just do, we do like in front of current index. No, we need to do it in front of the very first one. So we need like a base rectangle. So base r that x plus 10. So we need like this. Yeah. So let me actually now this is fine. So it's gonna be base r x base r y. Well, y is actually plus 10. Base r plus 3. Base r y plus 10, and then base r x plus 7, and base r y plus base r h. Oh yeah, slightly overshoot it. Yeah, because it's not base r. It should be like button height. Huh? Is it not? Ah, it's just height. Yeah. Why is it? Why does it cut here? Why is it cut here? Ah, plus 10, yeah. Like this. Yeah. Because in the rect of the key, it already adjusts plus for this 10, but the cursor not. Yep, and now, yeah, now we're chilling. Now we cannot draw the cursor. Boom. I like it. Yeah, I think it's pretty cool. This just makes this kind of log of keys slightly more useful. It knows what's the last one we pressed. So if the link buffer has previous story, we know that okay, this is where we stopped, and this means that all of this is older than this. We can maybe separate it somewhere differently. We could maybe like dim those or paint them red or whatever it is. I think cursor, I like the cursor idea more. Like, feel free to disagree. Also, I've noticed that this needs more spacing, but I don't care. It's fine. So that's kind of a little W I needed before finishing it. And this maybe drawing cursor might be slightly better. Drawing code is shit. Okay. So what do we have here? Yeah, let's do draw cursor over the input, display for better. Just doesn't matter. And then start correctly handling num lock keys on links. Let's push it. Whew. Yeah, I think I'm kind of done. Anyone streaming, by the way? Somebody who I maybe haven't raided yet, or haven't raided in a while. Who do we have? My mom is streaming. Letting a lemming do random projects in Rust. Well, let's rate random projects in Rust. Why not? Please no hate. Oh shit. No, never mind. He bans raids. He doesn't allow raids. Fuck. Roll back. Roll back. Right, so if you're streaming, if you're watching on YouTube, feel free to hop on Twitch for the raid. And who will we? Olex the dev compiles Gentoo. What in the actual fuck? First, why would he do this? Second, well, there's somebody who does OCaml monomorphization. Let's rate him. OCaml stream.
Shit. It's not very long. It's
Follower
called-
only chat. Fuck! We can't have follower only chat. Bruh, why is it so hard to find someone to rate? Well, we'll rate Olex the Deaf. Enjoy some Gentoo content. Yeah, so thanks everyone for watching. I will hopefully stream tomorrow. I mean, most likely I will stream tomorrow. And yeah, as always, have a good night. Enjoy the company. Hope you did too. See you next time. Bye bye, motherfuckers. Have a good sleep.